Assalamu alaikum and hello everybody, welcome to Mathsable. Today we will be doing trigonometry, so let's start with the basic formulas. You should know the equations in a right angle triangle, as they are not only used in trigonometry, they're also used in functions, quadratics and coordinate geometry. So sine x is equal to opposite or perpendicular over hypotenuse, cos x is equal to adjacent or base over hypotenuse, tan x is equal to opposite or perpendicular over adjacent or base. These are used to find the unknown angles or the unknown sides lengths. You should also know the ASTC rule, or the all sine tan cos graph, where in the first quadrant all sine tan cos theta are positive, where theta is between angle 0 and 90 degrees, so this angle. And in the second quadrant, sine theta is positive, where theta is between angle 180 degrees and 90 degrees, so this angle or this angle, but keeping in mind you always take the angle against the x-axis. And in the third quadrant, tan theta is positive, where theta is between angle 180 degrees and 270 degrees. In the fourth quadrant, cos theta is positive, where theta is between angle 360 degrees and 270 degrees, so this angle. For example, we're given the angle 70 degrees for cos theta, and let's suppose all theta. So in the first quadrant, this would be 70 degrees, and for cos, it would be 360 minus 70, so this angle, hence taking the angle against the x-axis. The following are two very commonly used and important equations, the two trigonometric identities, which you should revise. And so sine square theta plus cos square theta is equal to 1, sine theta divided by cos theta is equal to tan theta. You can obviously derive more equations from these, such as sine square theta is equal to 1 minus cos square theta is equal to 1 minus sine square theta. Similarly, cos theta over sine theta is equal to 1 over tan theta, so you have taken a reciprocal to derive this equation. Let's solve this question as an example. So solve the equation 2 cos theta is equal to 7 minus 3 divided by cos theta for angle between minus 90 degrees and 90 degrees. So the range is between minus 90 degrees and 90 degrees. It's a 4-mark question. And first we would have to make cos theta the subject of this equation. So we will take an LCM on the right hand side. So after we have simplified it, we will get a quadratic equation. After solving it through midterm breaking, or you can solve it on your calculator, the values of cos theta would be 2 cos theta minus 1 is equal to 0 and cos theta minus 3 is equal to 0. So we will get two values of cos theta. The first value of cos theta would be cos inverse half, which is 60 degrees, and the second value of theta would be cos inverse 3, which would be undefined or math error because it is greater than 1. So we would use only theta is equal to 60 degrees. But as they're asking for a range between minus 90 degrees and 90 degrees, there would be further two angles, so 60 degrees and minus 60 degrees. As it is only from minus 90 to 90, this angle, the cos angle between the x-axis line, this would not count, as the range is not till 360, it is till 90 degrees. So this angle 60 degrees and minus 60 degrees, because there are two ranges. So this would be your final answer. Theta is equal to 60 degrees and theta is equal to minus 60 degrees. So usually when they have given us a positive range, we take the angle going clockwise from the x-axis. So in this direction, so this angle, in this case it was positive 60 degrees. However, the other range is minus 90 degrees. So we would go counterclockwise. So let's say this is minus 90 degrees when going counterclockwise. So we would go in the opposite direction. this would be minus 60 degrees. Hence our two answers. For example, let's solve a question using these two identities. So prove the identity 1 minus sine squared theta times 1 plus tan squared theta is equal to 1. This symbol represents that it is always equal to 1. So we usually take the left hand side and simplify it until it is equal to 1, hence it proves the identity. So our first step would be we would convert 1 minus sine squared theta into cos squared theta, and tan squared theta into sine squared theta divided by cos squared theta. And then we simplify it by multiplying the cos squared theta, this term, with 1, and also with the second term, sine squared theta divided by cos squared theta. And this would be our final equation, after which cos squared theta and cos squared theta would get cancelled. So cos squared theta plus sine squared theta is equal to 1, hence proved. So trigonometry is split into graphs, sine, cos, and tan graph. Let's talk about the y is equal to sine x or sine graph. The general form of equation of sine, cos, and tan graphs are y is equal to a sine times k times x minus b plus c, where a is the amplitude or height of the graph, k is the period, or you can say in how many cycles it has completed the graph, so in 2 pi or in pi, 360 degrees or 180 degrees. X is theta, b is the horizontal shift, meaning how many steps it has taken to the right or left, c is the vertical shift, how many steps it has taken up or down, so on the x-axis. Moving on, the cos graph, y is equal to cos x, or the general formula stays the same. The graph, however, it starts from 1 on the y-axis, and the rest is the same. The period is still 2 pi, and it completes its whole cycle in 2 pi. Moving on to the tan graph, y is equal to tan x. The formula stays the same. However, as you can see, it is undefined at 90 degrees and 270 degrees, or minus 90 degrees and minus 270 degrees, and so on. Let's draw this in graph. For example, y is equal to 2 sine 2x plus 3, where the period is 2. The period formula is 360 or 2 pi divided by the coefficient of x. In this case it is 2, so 360 divided by 2 is 180 degrees. This is only for sine and cos graphs. For tan graphs, it is 180 divided by the coefficient of x, or pi divided by the coefficient of x. The amplitude of this graph is 2 plus 2. The vertical shift is plus 3. So let's start with the vertical shift. The graph will originate from plus 3. You don't need to draw the origin domain or the y is equal to the vertical shift value. This is just for an idea, to get an idea of where the graph would start from. And the amplitude is 2, so it will go 2 steps up and 2 steps down till 5, and 1 is its range. So as it completes its whole cycle in 180 degrees, so till here, the maximum point, stationary point of this graph would be on 45 degrees. So it's 45 degrees, and it would be 3, the origin, at 90, and the minimum point at 1 would be 90 plus 45, which is 135, and it would end up at 180 degrees, so at its origin 3. Now we are done with trigonometry. Hopefully you found this video to be helpful, and as always, have a great rest of your day, and Assalamu alaikum.